Welcome all. Good afternoon to all. Welcome, dear participants, dear learners. I welcome you in the second webinar and Q&A session of Academic Writing, January to July session 2022. Myself, Lokesh Adhikari. I am a teaching assistant and instructional designer of this course. And here with me, Dr. Ajay Semalty, our course coordinator and subject matter expert, Dr. Mona Semalty, our course coordinator and subject matter expert, present here to answer all your queries and to discuss few things regarding our content we are serving you within the course. So I think we should move on and start the session officially. So I welcome Ajay sir.
Welcome. Welcome, dear learners, my dear students. We, the team AW, the team Academic Writing, welcome you again on the next live interaction of our course Academic Writing. Hope you are enjoying the lectures, going through the lectures, the reading materials, and the further reading links which are given in the course. So, as we know that we have covered almost 5 weeks in which we have covered the basic aspects, basic English for academic writing, plagiarism, and thereafter journal metrics and author metrics, the bibliometrics. Today, I think we are going to focus more on the journal targeting. What I would like to add before commencing and taking the queries, whenever we go for publishing a paper, what are the most significant or the topmost factors which are responsible for the rejections of any kind of publication? The first is journal targeting. If you don't target properly, you're going to face the rejections. If you are not, and thereafter comes the basic English, the requirement, the language issues. These are the two topmost factors. That's why we have covered initially. And the third factor, again, is the plagiarism. But altogether, if we say these are the three topmost factors which are responsible for bringing the rejection for you, for me, for the researchers. So welcome, Dr. Mona, on board. So any opening remark, and then we will go ahead with the queries. I request all the learners to put the queries and take the best advantage of this live interaction. Thank you. Over to you.
Hello, thank you, sir. Yes, I officially welcome ma'am. Ma'am, your video is a bit static. Yes. But we can hear you, ma'am. Okay. Ma'am will rejoin us within a minute.
Let's start. You put your queries.
So please, your mic, sir.
Meanwhile, you put your queries. You are starting posting your queries. You can post your queries in the two platforms. Number one, YouTube, and number two, our academic writing Facebook group. So we are here for you on this Sunday again for answering your queries. So with opening remark, Dr. Mona, if you can hear, we can go ahead with that.
Yeah, yeah. Hello, dear learners.
So,
Welcome in
so
this
friends,
session. In
let's
this live
talk
session,
about.
I hope.
Yeah, please.
Uh, so, as Dr. Semalty mentioned, today session specifically targeting journal. We are going to discuss. If you have any queries, keep on posting your queries in the chat box. We'll take all your queries, and I hope you are enjoying academic writing. Videos, all modules, and next also in the coming weeks also you are going to get a wonderful content of academic writing. So dear learners, keep on checking your emails regularly. So do check your emails for announcements. So I hope you will enjoy this session also. So over to you, Dr. Semalty.
So friends, thank you, Dr. Mona, and hope you have got the essence of the things what we are going to address today. Impact factor. Every person wants to get his or her work published in the high impact. My dear friends, for publishing in high impact, you must have a good and solid research work done. Just by paying some bucks, just by preparing a paperwork, you can't go ahead for publication in high impact. Matching with the scope of the journal is one of the important criteria that I think we must match whenever we are going to, you know, for publication. We just see we open up that particular journal, see the related articles, what is the scope of the journal, and then we target the thing. We have studied important factors. Remember, impact, speed, and reach. These are the three important aspects. And depending upon, quote unquote, depending upon your requirement, your research area, the value of your research work, you can opt one or two of these three factors. Very rarely you can target all the three factors: impact, speed, and reach. It means you want to go for high impact. You want to get your paper published in a speedy manner, and thirdly, you want to go ahead with the publication which can have more and more citation, or you say that you will get a huge readership. So these are the three major factors. And elsewhere in his in its website has very in a very detailed manner has clarified this concept. And moreover, if we talk about not only just about the science journals but also about the humanities journals, elsewhere, Bentham Science, Springer, Taylor and Francis, Kluwer Online, in Indian scenario, Medno, there is no dearth of any journal for humanities. Just you need to select a particular journal which best matches with the work you have done. You cannot start playing tiger. Otherwise, your time will be wasted. And it happens. Rejections are part and parcel of the publication process. Always remember that no every time acceptance whenever he or she, a particular researcher, is communicating a research paper, rejections happen even to the Nobel laureates. If you see the story of rejections for the Nobel laureates, a huge number of Nobel laureates have faced the rejections even for the work for which they were given Nobel Prize later. So it happens, my dear friends, because the reviewer are also human beings. So don't lose hope. Just target a good journal. And if you get the rejections, plan another journal timely. And in general, if you go for standard journals of high impact or whatever quality journals, if I'm talking about, then remember that at least 1 to 3 months it is going to take the first to get the first decision of your article. A few things which you must not do. Number one, any kind of gift authorship, any kind of paid authorship without your involvement in the research, you must not accept or must not be indulged in those kind of unethical activities of publishing. It's not a race. The sustainable development of the humanity depends on the seriousness in the research endeavors. This is very much true. So you are responsible, I am responsible, we are responsible for that sustainable development which science is going to bring up. So let's be serious and let's preserve the academic integrity with research and publication ethics. Then only the entire research scenario can grow. So you might be having many queries. So please put your queries, and I'm here to answer your queries, because it is not the time to deliver a particular lecture. I would like to utilize this occasion or this interaction for answering your queries. Yes. Scheduled, Raghunath ji, exam. You please go through the FAQs. Exams are always scheduled at the end of the course. In general, after the 1 month of the end of the course, so most probably it is in June or July, and the exam form will come at the end of the exam, the course only. It means in the month of May, it will come. Okay. Yeah, how alt matrix, it is not L matrix, it is alt matrix, differs from other matrix. Alt matrix is about a matrix which is dependent upon the topics, which is meant for the topics of conflicting interest, or you can say which can create conflict. It is basically alt matrix. It is alternative matrix, and it is useful. It is not much useful for sciences, basic science, but maybe wherever the social issues, wherever the issues wherever the discussion can be done on a particular platform, the pros, cons, the contradictory ideas, if it is producing the ideas, then alt matrix comes into the picture. And that's why if we talk about in the current geopolitical scenario of Ukraine versus Russia, you and me may have the differences of opinion. If an article comes which is discussing that particular scenario, and your article is triggering the discussion, then it means yes, you are having the altmetrics, good altmetrics, and that the series of discussion which your article has triggered actually increases your altmetrics. If I say the sun rises in the east, there is no meaning of discussion on that particular point. Simple thing I'm telling. For the standard science protocols, or you can say science principles, for the science principle, the altmetrics has no meaning. If you can trigger the discussions, yes, altmetrics is the domain you can play with. And nowadays, various employers are using these altmetrics for various disciplines for hiring the their employees. Yeah, Ahmed is reporting the journal metrics activity compulsory. Journal metrics activity, it is not compulsory. It's the activity is just for your learning, so that you can enjoy the learning. It's not compulsory, and it's not going to be scored, so don't worry. It's just for your exercise. Wherever the compulsory aspect is there, we have marked some marks over that. Please do remember. Okay, so you are having only the graded quiz which are released weekly graded quiz, and the assignment. And today itself, I think we are going to launch the first assignment, which will be related to the plagiarism we made. Okay, thank you.
Raghunath, Raghunath
How
ji
will we
asking.
target a journal so that it will not be rejected? Yeah, I started my discussion on that particular point itself. That yes, for that, you just go ahead. Ma'am is also answering. Ma'am, please.
Yeah, Mr. Raghunath Raut is asking, sir and madam, how will you target a journal that will not be rejected? Mr. Raghunath, it's not like that. There is a few journals which you don't get rejections for them. It's not like that. The only thing is you have to prepare your manuscript keeping in mind the journal requirement, its scope, and you also have to keep it in mind. Uh, um there should be no technical or grammatical error. So this way, definitely your paper is going to be accepted in the journal. So it's not like we can suggest you a journal that is for sure is going to accept your paper. It's not like that. Okay, so be clear uh, with this, that do write a manuscript that fulfills the all criteria, including scope, including its author's requirements. Do read author's guidelines. Even though there will be rejections, you will get certain comments for revision, and once if you revise, your manuscript will be accepted. Okay, so we cannot suggest you any journal that is for sure going to accept your paper. Okay.
Yeah, obviously, good. There is no set protocol that needs a thumb rule that what should be the journal, but there are some basic aspect depending upon your research requirement. You can go through, as I've discussed in the early section of this interaction, that impact, speed, and reach. Depending upon the requirement of your article, you target the journal wisely, then only you can go ahead. That basically you must rely on only on the prestigious publishers. Otherwise, the substandard journals, there is a flood of substandard journals, and Journal metrics gives you the weapon, gives you the tool for picking a suitable journal for your particular research work, for individual research work. I cannot say that for pharmacy you just publish in that particular journal. Depending upon your research area and the several aspects which are your requirement, depending on the impact, speed, and reach, you can target. Okay. Cohesion. Taslim is saying that, yeah, stuck in cohesion. The cohesion and coherence is a wonderful topic, really. Whenever what I feel, just go ahead, you take your time, don't worry, you have enough time up to May itself. You can submit your graded quiz, so there is no question of time. But what I feel that cohesion and coherence is like creating your research work in the form of a story, interesting story. You must develop that particular story so that you can convince your readers, you can convince your reviewers. And for that story to be interesting, the glue is needed so that there is no distraction, there is no flaw in the language. The flaw may be on two different aspects. Number one, grammatical aspect. When the sentences are not linked properly with respect to the grammatically glue, you can say grammarly glue, you can say GG. Or if they are not glued at the level of idea, that is called rhetorical connection. When the rhetorically they are not connected, we call it we call it that it is not coherent. So cohesion and coherence, both the things are utmost important, and it is connected directly to the language issue, which I told you that topmost factors is journal targeting. Suitable journal you must target, number one. And secondly, the language errors. The language error is not just about the grammatical level, but also the idea level. So the cohesion and coherence both are utmost important in totality altogether to create a wonderful story which can convince reader scientifically. So it is not about pedagogy or I'm talking about English grammar only. No, many people, even in the, if I say that my mother tongue is Hindi, there are so many people who can't talk effectively in such a way that the other people are glued to them. This is an art. This is called communication skill. And that communication skill in writing is called cohesion at the language level. And when talking about a particular idea, how I'm creating a story, how I'm developing a story is called coherence. If you talk about the humanities, arts, sciences, life sciences, whatever, it holds true for everything. You cannot jump from one ladder to another ladder, one step to the third step. You can't jump. So you will have to be a nice storyteller, even for your science experiment. Okay. Yeah. So I'm struggling for the Ankit is saying that for the plagiarism checking software, which one is suitable for the candidates who is not directly associated with any academic institution currently. Yeah, Ankit ji, you can buy your Turnitin subscription. I think it is single subscriptions are available at the various platforms. You can buy it, and then you can use it for similarity checking or for plagiarism checking. But I don't recommend the free software. The free softwares are not much they are not very much efficient. So I recommend you to buy the subscription of Turnitin. Individual subscription are quite affordable. They are not very much expensive. Okay. Shruti is saying that how many assignment objective plus subjective should be submitted at least to qualify for certificate of this course. In FAQs talk, it was written minimum 5 number assignments shall be taken. Can it change? In general, we are taking the 5 best assignments. Yeah, it's true. And So far, the policy is same. So it's better you do your efforts for every assignment so that your chances of qualifying for the exam, you can give the exam, no worries. Nobody is going to check you for giving the exam. But if you don't score minimum 40%, then you won't be awarded the certificate by the SWAYAM board. For the certification, you won't be eligible in that case. So this is a simple thing that is also mentioned in the FAQ. Thank you. I need to clarify on that. How should I be confident that I have done a good research? What are parameters for it? For doing that, nobody can tell you that how whether you have done a good research or not. Only you can tell. You can tell, or your supervisor can tell you. Otherwise, if you do the research, whenever you are doing the research, the simple thing is you see what novelty you are bringing about. That is utmost important topic. What new you are adding to the domain of the knowledge. That is utmost important. Then only it would be worthy to be published, that yes, I have added something to the domain of the knowledge. If you're doing some repeated kind of work and you want to get it published, it's not possible. And the reviewer, or maybe before sending to the review, even the in the primary stages itself, it would be rejected by the team only. As in the various journals, this is written that basic set of this thing, this kind of thing won't be accepted for the research publications. You must see the author's guidelines, as ma'am emphasized. See the author's guidelines properly and just focus it, and the scope of the journal. Then you will see the quality of research work which is required. No research, I believe no research is bad, no research is good. It is about the quality and the level of the research work. Even a student is doing some little experiment, this also adds up. The coordination of various experiments and turning it into the research actually paves the way for the research publication. Even the small experiment may contribute to a greater research work. The
And
people are
Ankit
doing,
Kumar,
sitting on the
newspaper.
different countries, different parts of the research work. Yeah, please.
Yeah, Ankit Kumar, and if your research is published in a, good journal, good in the sense a journal having good indexing, and if it is having impact factor, that is also good. So then also there you can consider that your research is good. Okay, just whatever you do, try that it get published in a good indexing journal first, and second in good impact journal. So then you will realize yourself that your research is good. Okay, no one is going to give you certificate that your research, about your research, yeah, you have done very good research. It's not like that. And all other things and all depth about your research topic, so you only can decide that thing. Okay, I hope this is clear to you, Ankit.
And the many journals in the reviewing stage itself give you the clear picture of the quality of your article. Okay, so you will get the report or in the feedback within the reviewer comments itself. Okay, if one tries to cast a good impact with one's work, the speed shows how to cope with that. Yeah, tries to cast a good impact with one's work, the speed slows. Yeah, this we have discussed. It is very typical to have a good balance without funding. I'm telling, if you are not having the funds to get published or to give the processing fee or publication fee, obviously you have to compromise speed for impact, impact for speed, and vice versa. Maybe the specifically in the Indian scenario, when hardly any funding agency gives any processing fee or publishing fee for the high impact journals, in contrast to the Western world, where the processing fee and publishing fee is the part and parcel of the research funding. So it becomes a typical thing. I agree with you perfectly. But for coping that, I think that you know that every paper is not worthy to be published in the high impact. So you will have to judge yourself, your work itself, whether this work is eligible for 0 to 1 impact or 3 to 5 impact. If you are over assessing yourself, if you are overconfident, then your time will be killed. You may get rejection back to back. So it's better to assess yourself on time and get your paper published in continuity depending upon their quality. Every paper can't be published in high impact. Every paper, every research work cannot be a eye-opening, a new invention or a very novel thing. You know very well. So you will have to judge yourself where you find your place in a which kind of journal. And once you will realize this thing, then you will get the quantum of the publications in continuity, that too, without any hitch maybe. But for that, the experience is needed, and I think when you will keep on doing the things, you will get the experience. Thank you. Yeah, Kulkarni ji saying, sir, what are the open access journals for the new author? Are open access journals easier to get published? Satyajit ji, Kulkarni Saab, it's all about the money. Most of the open access journals charge a huge amount of processing and oblique or publishing fee, which Indian researchers are unable to pay, to be very true. If an open access journal, that too, I'm talking about the standard journals, I'm not talking about the substandard journals. If it is free, you just go ahead with that. For the new author, obviously for the new, either it is author is new or old. Open access is very good for reach and cite or for bringing the citations, provided it is a journal of wider reach. It is provided it is a journal by a good publisher, provided it is a journal which has been established quite old for quite long time back. It has been established. So you just see these things, then only go for the. Otherwise, there are so many substandard journals which are open access journals, which may be taking the money, which may not be taking the money, because the journals who are opening their shops today itself, they don't charge initially. They just publish without any peer review and all that. But it will dilute your work. It will take down your research credibility if you will be publishing in those substandard journals. In the past, with the passage of time, when you will become an established researcher, then you might be having a guilt that why did I publish in that particular journal. So just be ready for that thing. Thank you. So what's the reason that despite of a large number of research scholars being awarded PhD degrees every year, still our research outcome is very low? Yes, it is an agony, friends, because PhD, for every kind of research, funds are needed. For every quality research work, funds are needed, and that is the basic issue with the academic institutions. That funds are not there for the even for the basic experiments for the students. What to speak about the research? And only a bunch of institutions are getting the huge amount from the government of India or the any government. So what is happening that you cannot compare apple with the oranges. You cannot compare a state university or central university to a IIT or NIT or Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. The people who are doing the PhD in IITs are getting 70,000, I think, as far as I remember, 70,000 fellowship per month. And what the people are getting here in universities, rupees 8,000 only. And that too, very inconsistent. And at the level of PhD, every student has got various responsibilities, family responsibilities, and he has or she has to cope up with those things also. So that's why when a person is insecure for his livelihood, her livelihood, for other responsibilities, how can he or she do a wonderful research work, that too without funds? And this is the basic issue, that funds, availability of funds, and secondly, availability or providing that fund to the most suitable persons, to the most suitable areas, or targeting of the areas for the research. Then only it will trigger actually. And this is the policy thing. I cannot comment basically, but yes, this is the reason why we are not coming up with the good research. Guideline says that, yeah, Karandeep, that use direct quotes up to 3 lines. If I use direct quotes more than 3 lines, what I do, it is mentioned there in itself in that particular rule, that more than 3 lines, 39 words, you should you should rephrase that thing, or you should not use the double quotes. Give the reference. APA style mention this thing. Otherwise, you will keep on hanging those quotes and cover quotes in their entire thesis, and you will say that I'm skipping the plagiarism. No issue. No, no. This is the major issue. You have to paraphrase. In that case, you have to go. You have to start doing the paraphrasing of your content with references, with giving the citations to the. You will have to give attribution to the original work. Thank you. Zenith, who authorize fake journals? They are not caught doing illegal work in research work. You and me authorize the research work, the fake journals. The people who don't know, you will say that who authorized the fake shops? The persons. If I am going there, I am caught there, and for after seeing me, a line is coming there to that particular shop. The fake journals are just like shops. We have to be vigilant. We have to create the awareness that we must not publish in fake journals. A teacher must have a responsibility to be vigilant, not only being vigilant, but also creating the awareness among the students that what is the good journal, what is the bad journal. I have seen many teachers standing in the row in the bank for depositing 2,000, 3,000 rupees for a particular journal's publishing fee for fake journals. But this is you and me actually who are authorizing. Nobody authorizes fake journals. So don't get caught in their nexus. Thank you. How can I select a good topic for first time publication? Rajeshri, it is about when you are going for selecting a topic. We'll also cover this topic in the coming weeks when we'll be talking about the literature aspect also. In the next week itself, we are going to discuss this particular thing in detail. But I would like to add that a good discussion with your supervisor, your mentor, the availability of resources, what kind of resources you are having. I want to develop a intercontinental ballistic missile. No issue. I have got the fascination. I want to do that. But what kind of resources you are having there? What kind of resources you are doing? You are having in your university, in your department. You have to see that. I want to fly, but I will have to keep my feet on ground. So discuss the thing with your supervisor. See the related. Go for the tentative topics, tentative areas. Shortlist a particular area, then go for tentative topics. Again, shortlist those topics depending upon the availability of resources, work done in your lab previously, so that you can continue with some work, the previous work. So it's all about the discussion, literature review, and the state of the art of the knowledge in that particular domain, which can create the idea. That origin of idea is utmost important aspect, which depends upon experience, literature survey. We'll be discussing experience survey, that That is, you are discussing with your mentors. That is the experience survey. Your mentor will tell you that yes, this is this thing. So literature survey, experience survey, and availability of resources. These are three major things which will guide you for origin of idea. Yeah, Ramacharya sir, please tell how to publish journal process. Publish a journal. You know, if you want to start a journal, what I suggest you to go to prestigious publishers with your proposals, and you can start your journal. And what I feel that rather than starting, starting your own journal is not a good idea. You must have a good flag of the good publisher. Have a good discussion with them. Come up with that particular idea. Come up with a good editorial board, and then go with the dedicated team. You must go. Otherwise, there are so many journals which are struggling to get the impact, struggling to get these indexing for quite many years. Without a good team, without a good vision, no journal can succeed. Thank you. Sushant, generally I'm thinking the idea in my native language and making small sentences in this good way of scientific writing. Yeah, obviously there's no issue, Sushantji. You know, when we are doing science, you are not expected to be Ruskin Bond. You are not expected to be any literary person. Simple sentences works well. Just like in sciences, whatever it may be, any kind of science. When you tell your student, draw a neat and clean diagram of this particular thing, whatever, or cross section of heart or whatever you say. You never say, draw a beautiful diagram. It's not the beauty which is required. It is the factual correctness which is required. You must stick to the factual correctness, not only about the idea, but also about the language. So factual correctness in the language, grammatical level, and the idea level, both things must be there. Thank you.
Next question is, sir, I intend to publish case studies in the area related to my paper published at the conference. Please suggest how to identify journals that deal with case studies.
Yeah. Case studies, if you want to go ahead with that, just filter case studies only when you're going to the literature review or literature survey. The PubMed and the various platform give you an opportunity to filter out or focus only the case studies to see where these case studies are being published. Focus the studies which are relevant to your work and where they are being published. Then go to those journals, see the frequency of case studies in a particular issue, then target only. If there is an exclusive case studies section in a particular journal, I think this should be the best choice for deciding a journal for publishing a case study, rather than randomly sending your manuscript to any journal. First check whether that journal publishes case studies or not, or in which frequency it publishes. How many case studies are there in a particular issue of that particular journal? Check it out, then go to that particular journal for communicating your manuscript. Okay, thank you.
The next question is by Mohammed Mushtaq. Respected sir, I have applied for the academic writing certificate course And the center allotted to me in Hyderabad, but I have another exam in Jammu. So please tell me how to change my exam center.
Exam center can't be changed.
Yes.
I think it was clearly mentioned when in the NTA's instructions itself that only 2 days time was given, and moreover, I think I was also getting some queries from the some learners of Jammu and Srinagar to interchange or to change their centers. The centers are already full in Jammu and Srinagar, so there is no possibility of change of center at this moment, specifically when only a few hours are left for the examination. So sorry, and for that NTA is to be approached only, and we have already clarified that this is not our domain. This is the domain of NTA only, and rather NTA can't help at this moment, as I feel. Thank you.
So next question is by Nimi Hassan.
No, it is not possible to give the exam right now outside India. But yes, SWAYAM is going abroad very soon. I think in a few countries, our courses are planned specifically to begin with. In some African countries, the exams are going to be conducted, and the Ministry of External Affairs is working with the Ministry of Education for materializing this thing and seeing the modalities, and very soon it will be a reality. There's no issue, Jay Kumar. There is no issue. You can just see you for all the your queries, basic queries. If you have joined the course, just click on the course dashboard. You will see the FAQs, and you will see in the week second, week first, you will get the recording of webinar, which is giving you the clear picture of processing or of modalities of this course. You will get the all your queries answered there. So you please go ahead with the things. It is not possible for me to repeat the entire webinar which we discussed in the last 1 year, last 1 hour in the last webinar, last webinar. We in detail we discussed this thing. So the recording is available in your dashboard. Please just click it, and you will get the clear picture. So welcome aboard, Jay Kumar. Karandeep. I write, Karandeep, I write a chapter for a book. What I do next? I do want to write a chapter for a book. You know, for writing a chapter of book, you should write chapter of book after the invitation, or if you are a part of a particular team which has got that proposal approved by a publisher, then only you can go with the book chapter. If somewhere the call for book chapter is there, you can contribute there. You cannot go with, you cannot, it is not like that you have written a chapter of book and then you want to publish it. No. So just go with the team, plan different chapters, and you can come up with a complete book. Otherwise, writing a single chapter is not going to solve your purpose until it becomes the part of a particular book. For that, you will have to follow the call for book chapters by publishers or by some teams who have got the approval of that particular book by publishers. Okay. Yeah. कोई रिसर्चर है, उसने पेपर पब्लिश कर दिया एंड वहां पर पेपर में डेटा गलत है, देन कोई बाद में प्रॉब्लम आ सकता है? यस, बिल्कुल आ सकता है. द प्रॉब्लम विल कम. समस्या आती है, उसे कहते हैं रिट्रैक्शन. अगर किसी ने उस चीज को पकड़ लिया कि ये गलत डेटा है, वो उसको एडिटर को लिखेगा. एडिटर को लिख के वो ये प्रूव करेगा कि ये डेटा गलत है, ये गलत ढंग से पेश किया गया है. तो अगर वो एडिटर सेटिस्फाई हो जाता है, रिव्यूअर को भेजता है, वो सेटिस्फाई हो जाता है, हाँ ये गलत है, तो वो पेपर तुरंत रिट्रैक्ट हो जाएगा, इसमें हट जाएगा, लाल स्याही से लिखा होगा रिट्रैक्टेड ड्यू टू रॉन्ग डेटा और व्हाटएवर जो रीजन होगा वो लिखा रहे. तो ये है कि तो हमें अवॉइड करना चाहिए, और अगर कभी गलती हो जाए तो उसे खुद रिट्रैक्ट कर लेना चाहिए अपने आप. अगर बाय द वे आपसे गलती हो गई, वो कुछ गलत हो गया, So then you can request the editor to retract your paper only. It happens. अरे कोई वैसी बात नहीं है. मैं आपको बताऊं कि एक नोबल लॉरेट ने जिसको नोबल का वर्क मिला था, उसके 2-3 पेपर छपे थे, तो उसका what happened that she felt that one of her set of experiment are not reproducible. The experiment which you do must be reproducible. It is one of the prime requirement of any research work. ऐसा नहीं है कि मेरे को जो है अचानक से चमत्कार हो गया और मुझे खुद ही पता नहीं कि वो काम कैसे हो गया और वो रिप्रोड्यूसिबल है ही नहीं, मुझे खुद ही नहीं पता. तो इस तरह का रिसर्च वर्क अगर मुझे रिप्रोड्यूसिबल का कंटेंट नहीं है तो उसने लिखा कि इट इज नॉट रिप्रोड्यूसिबल सर, तो मैं इस कारण से ये रिप्रोड्यूसिबल नहीं कर पा रही हूं मैं इसको, तो इसलिए इस पेपर को रिट्रैक्ट कर दिया जाए, हटा लिया जाए. तो वो हटा लिया गया उसकी रिक्वेस्ट पे. तुम्हारा लिखा गया कि ऑन द रिक्वेस्ट ऑफ ऑथर इट इज रिट्रैक्टेड. इससे पहले कि दूसरा आपको जो है गलत सिद्ध करे, अगर आपको लगता है कुछ गलत हो गया, आप रिट्रैक्ट कर लीजिए पेपर को. दैट इज बेटर आई थिंक. थैंक यू. How to identify the predatory journals? Yes, we have also discussed this in earlier webinar. For predatory journals, first you see the publisher. Who is the publisher? What is the credibility of editorial board? Editorial board में कौन-कौन member है भाई? Who are the editorial board members and whether they are physically verifiable or not, whether they are actually associated with or that or not, or simply you go to the UGC care list in the Indian scenario, only published in the approved journal list. You can just put the ISSN number in that particular search bar. After registering, you will come to know whether the journal is approved or not. There is no serial number of approved journals today. Unlike the previous years, when the care list of journals were divided into 4 categories, it is only in the 2 categories now, category 1 and category 2. Category 1 is of UGC approved journals, care list approved journals, where that committee approved the particular journals which are recommended by the universities or academic institutions or research institutions, depending on the criteria they have set. And the second category belongs to the Scopus and Web of
BSN फाइबर कौन वो वो भी नहीं है, यहाँ भी नहीं है, HMP गैस भी नहीं है.
So there is a little bit of internet issue at our end. So we are just resolving that issue. Please stay with us. Our expert will join us again. Meanwhile, just share your comments, your queries in the comment box within the YouTube as well as the Facebook chat box, and we will happy to answer your query. Last 6 minutes, last 5 minutes of our session is left, and we are going to wrap up this session soon. So just be with us. The next question is Karan is asking about whether can I publish this chapter in the open access journal. So earlier question was I wrote a chapter for a book. What do I next? So sir answered that question. So the subsequent question is whether I can publish this chapter in the open access journal or not.
Sir,
Hold on. It's coming. Traffic again.
So welcome again. Am I audible to you? So I think my voice is audible to you all. There was a technical glitch at our end. We have resolved it. Sir will join us within a minute. And the question we are going to carry forward is that whether can I publish this chapter in the open access journal or not. So the earlier question, which was related to it, was I wrote a chapter for a book, and what I do next. So sir answered that question. I think to publish a book chapter in a journal, it must be a very specific type, or otherwise it is very difficult to publish a book chapter with as a article, because the format of a book chapter is quite different from the format of that review article or research article. So to convert a book chapter which has not been published yet, I am assuming that you have to transform it as a review paper or as a research paper. So sir had joined us. I welcome sir. Please.
So I was telling about the care list categories, category 1 and category 2. Category 1 belongs to the UGC care approved journals, which are recommended by the various academic institutions or the research institution for the approval. And the category 2 belongs to the journals which are indexed by the Scopus or the Web of Science or the prestigious indexing agencies. What you are expected, what I feel that you should do, that rather than going to the category 1, you should focus to the category 2, which are more reliable, because the category 1 journals may be kicked out at any time, and it happens. So for when you are applying for any vacancies, you are supposed to give the current status of that journal. You can't say that it was approved by the UGC in 2019 and not this time. You can't say this. For promotions, it will be okay that for that particular time period, if it was approved, then no issue. But you must take care that even in the category 2 journals, for the very good journals with a high indexing, good indexing journal, index journals, impact journals, there may be a replica of those websites. For Nature, you will get a replica website. Various प्रेस्टिजियस जर्नल्स हैव द रेप्लिका, उसका डुप्लीकेट मिलेगा वहां पर। आपको विजिलेंट रहना पड़ेगा, और उसके लिए केयर वेबसाइट, यूजीसी केयर, इफ यू टाइप जस्ट यूजीसी केयर in the Google, you will find that UGC Care platform also provides you the detail about the replica websites. So you, what is replica, what is duplicate, what is original, in the whatever the cases arises, they put the information on that particular thing. So these are the important aspects which you should take care to avoid to avoid publishing the predatory journals. Okay. Yeah, we have, I think, already answered Karan that whether you can, yeah, open access journals, you can publish the chapters. Publishing a chapter in open access journal is not possible. Maybe if a particular journal is offering a particular book, then that is a different issue. But you can go, no issue, but just rely on, just focus on the publisher, that what is the credibility of the publisher where you are publishing your work. Thank you.
So, so we have answered all the queries, sir. I think we can wrap up as we have completed our time also. So I would like to thank all the participants for participating in this session, and we have very good queries and very informative and exhaustive answers by Dr. Ajay Semalty, sir. So I thank all the participants again, and thank to Dr. Ajay Semalty, sir.
Thank you, Lokesh, and thank you, dear learners, for being the part of this live interaction. And just keep doing your efforts for submitting your assignments. Soon, today itself, we are going to release the first subjective assignment that would be on plagiarism based. So thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Prasad ji, Karan, and all the learners. Raghunath ji, thanks a lot. फिर मिलते हैं.